good for you. You look happy and healthy. No, you don't ever care to us. Good for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Okay, look. I know I said I would have my digital biography a few days ago, but I have it now. Okay, it just took me a little bit longer than I thought I would. So here it is. I hope you like it. It all started on November 21st, 1996 at 2:46 a.m. Sorry, Mom. At Montgomery General Hospital in Olney, Maryland. There's me as a baby and as a little toddler. I had a nice head of bright orange hair. I don't have that anymore, but I think it looks pretty cute. Next pictures we got are me with my bat in t-ball. So ever since I was probably 4 or 5, I've been playing baseball. It's a huge part of my family's life. My whole family's are baseball fans. And then on the right, you can see me and my baseball card collection. So baseball was very important all the way from the early stages of life. Next up, we got some pictures of just me growing up a little bit. Me on a bike. I remember learning how to ride a bike with the training wheels and then finally being able to take them off. Huge accomplishment. Everyone should go through that as a kid. And then me with a buzz cut. I was a huge buzz cut guy when I was little. I hate it now. I feel like I would look terrible with it. But back then, it was what I was doing. So the next picture we got is me in 4th grade with my glasses. So we realized fairly quickly that my eyesight was horrible. I seem to remember my eyesight being 2200, which is really bad. And so I got glasses in 4th grade. I hated wearing them. I hated the way that I looked in them. But hey, they helped me see, and I sort of developed a thick skin through all the bullying of my glasses, but it's fine. Next up, since I was in 4th grade, I've been performing in various aspects, mostly musical. So on the left, you can see me with my trumpet. Originally, I wanted to play saxophone, but saxophones are too heavy for the 4th graders, apparently. And so the alternative would be clarinet, but my dad hates clarinet. So I chose trumpet, and I'm so happy I picked it because it's the best instrument ever, and I've enjoyed playing it ever since. And then to the right is my friend Levko and I. We were Lewis and Clark in a play that we put on in, I believe, 5th grade. And I was Clark, and Clark's character was always upset that it was Lewis and Clark and not Clark and Lewis. So the next few pictures we got are in 6th grade. The one on the left is Levko again, and then my friend Brent. That was at Inertia Land in our science class. Everybody had to come up with and build an amusement park themed ride and demonstrate the laws of physics and the laws of inertia. And then on the right is Levko again, and then my friend Bright and I. We played in a rock band called Sticks, Picks, and Keys, and we played in the variety show in, I think, 7th grade, and we played How to Save a Life by The Fray. And I was the bass guitarist, not the trumpet player. I always thought bassists were like the coolest people in rock bands, so I got a bass, and I barely ever played it. But I enjoyed playing How to Save a Life at the show, for sure. All right, moving on. This is probably either 8th grade or early 9th grade. This is when I started wearing snapback hats a lot. That was like the new fashion trend, was wearing snapbacks. So I have probably like 20 hats still, just collecting dust, but I was a big hat guy. And then on the right is a cruise that my family and I got to take during the summer. And it went to Mexico, Belize, and I think some other places. And we got to compete in the Amazing Cozumel, Mexico race, which was modeled after the TV show Amazing Race. And my family ended up winning the race, and they had us racing all around Cozumel and doing different challenges and activities, and we ended up winning. So that was such a cool experience. Next up was a really emotional and important event that I was a part of in high school when I was in the marching band. This is junior year. So this was a Street Smart campaign promoting pedestrian awareness and pedestrian safety in Washington, D.C. So our 72 member marching band, I believe it was, represented the 72 pedestrians that were killed in DC that year. And as the band played Amazing Grace, members slowly dropped their instruments and went to the side to symbolize a life being lost. And I was the last member standing. And I finished out Amazing Grace by myself. And I got to play Taps, which is a song notable for its use in military funerals. And that was such an emotional experience. I got to be interviewed by one of the radio stations afterwards. And it was just a great experience, and it was really meaningful. Next up, we got a picture of me in front of Notre Dame in France. That was during a vacation that my family and I took going into my senior year of high school. We went to London for 4 days, and then Paris for 3 days, and then I think we went to the English countryside for a couple days after that. That was a really fun vacation. I think that was the first time I'd been out of the country, not on a cruise. So pretty cool. Next picture is senior night for baseball during my senior year. And this was a really memorable night. I mean, it was the last time I played an organized game of baseball, and I hit a triple, which was not normal for me. I was a really good hitter, but I was only hitting, singles and the occasional double. So hitting a triple on senior night was just a great way to make a memory. Next up, we got a picture of myself and my brother and his girlfriend at the time, Caroline. We were in Wisconsin. So this is after my freshman year of college, and my brother was moving to Wisconsin to start a job at Epic Systems. And so my family took a vacation there to find a place for him to live. And he still lives there. And the picture on the right is one of my favorite pictures that my brother and I had together. It was a ride at Mount Olympus, theme park. And we knew exactly where the camera was after we had ridden the ride already. And so we prepared for a posed picture, and it's just such a great picture. So we had to buy it from the amusement park. Next up, this is still in college. This is a radio show that I did with my friend Cameron. It was one of my good friends from high school. We were called In the Creases, and I was DJ Webbs and he was Nomad. And our show focused on local and lesser known underground hip hop. So we tried to find artists from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and we wanted to highlight some artists that weren't as well known. So such a fun experience. We did that for 3 years. We started in my sophomore year and went until graduation. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had, and it got me a lot better at public speaking and being aware of how I sound on a recording. So hopefully that reflects in this voice memo. Next up is my roommates and I. This is my sophomore year of college. They were all a year below me. So my sophomore year, I stayed in a freshman dorm. So all of my friends pretty much that were in my vicinity were a year below me. And they ended up being my roommates for the following 2 years. So great guys. We got Brady, Patrick, Nate, Steven, and Ed. And then next up was one of the pivotal moments of my life is teaching a class at the University of Maryland as an undergrad. Not a TA, I was the actual instructor of the class with my friend Yannick, who's in yellow in the center, in the back. And we taught a class about hip hop music and the history of it and the cultural relevance of the music and the culture. And that's what made me ultimately realize that teaching was something that I wanted to pursue. So I will never forget those classes and those moments. Students loved the class, so I was really happy to bring such a passion to the school that wasn't previously offered. Next few pictures are myself and some friends and my family going to various sporting events. So we have 2 Nats games there. My family is Nats fans. I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm the contrarian here. And then most of my friends are Nats fans or Orioles fans. And then my buddy Nate on the far right is a huge Caps fan. And this was probably somewhere midway in the season that we went, but we had gone to the opening game that season, and it was the first time I'd been to a hockey game in I think 17 years. And I think we won, and that year the Caps ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So it was cool that the year I started going to games, the Caps ended up winning it all. So great memory. Nate's a good guy. Next picture we got is myself and one of my supervising officers at my internship at the Supreme Court of the United States Police Department. Pretty cool experience. I also interned that same semester with Montgomery County Police Homicide Unit, which was a little bit more engaging, but also pretty scary with some of the things that I got to see, but very cool experiences. It showed me what how to interact in a professional setting for sure. Next up is my dog. This is Bear. He's a miniature golden doodle. He's a little over 3 years, and he's about 19 pounds, so he's still a little guy, but he's not nearly as little as he was in this picture. Getting Bear, he was our first, we had a guinea pig when I was little, but this was our first pet, and that we really had to take care of and really interacted with you. And he's definitely changed my life for the better and my family's lives. We just love him so much, and he's so fun to play with, and he really shows care towards us. So Bear is the man for sure. Now the next couple of pictures is myself and my brother and his now wife, Caroline, at their wedding. So I was lucky enough to be in my brother's wedding party, and it was a great experience. It was beautiful. They went through a lot because it was during one of the Ellicott City floods, and their venue was in Ellicott City, so they had to find a new venue in 2 weeks or something. And we ended up finding one in Baltimore, and it was just great. There were no complaints about how the wedding went. So they're living in Wisconsin now, and they're really happy. So I'm really happy for them, and she's great. Caroline is awesome. And then the next picture is just the family without my dad. My dad was the one taking the picture, but that's my brother, my mom, and Caroline, and then Bear, of course. He's a little fluffier there than we like to keep him, because when he gets that fluffy, he can't really see too well. So we try to get him groomed fairly frequently. The next picture is my senior year of college. This was a tailgate before one of the football games that my friends and I organized with all of our parents. So we felt hey, we're the kind of friend group where we want to interact with each other's parents. A lot of people might get embarrassed to be with their parents around their friends, and vice versa. But we didn't care. We thought it'd be cool to have them intermingle and stuff. So that was a really fun activity that I had never really done before. And the next picture is another picture of Bear. He is really important, and he's adorable. So I gotta highlight him when I can. This is him with a sock. That's his trademark move, is stealing our socks and then just running into the dining room table, or running under the dining room table and just sort of chilling with the sock. So you really got to watch where you put your socks in our house, because Bear will very, very slyly snatch one up. Next is one of the best weeks, probably the best week I've ever had in my entire life, and that was my trip to Greece with 9 of my other friends from college, and that was during our senior year spring break. So it was a great celebratory thing that we did, to celebrate graduation. So great trip. I want to go back so bad, and the euros there are insane, and they're really cheap. So go to Greece and buy some euros. All right, the next few pictures are graduation pictures with pretty much the same group of friends that I've been highlighting the last few pictures. This was such a fun day because we all looked so good, and just being able to celebrate such a huge achievement of graduating college from a great college like Maryland was awesome. And then after graduation, I started working at Home Goods. So this picture that you see is my trainers and I. So I worked as a loss prevention detective, and so I had to have people train me on how to do that job ethically and properly. And so this is Chelsea on the left and Angie on the right. Great trainers. I was really blessed to have trainers who not only were good at their jobs, but also just really friendly and, wanted to be there for me whenever I needed help with the job. So I don't work there anymore, but it was a good year that I worked there. So definitely proud of that experience. And then the last picture is my girlfriend, Carolyn, and I. So Carolyn is from upstate New York, and she currently works at the National Institute of Health, and she's planning on going to med school. So she's actually working on like med school apps and stuff, and I do not envy her at all. But Carolyn's amazing. I really can't say enough good things about her, and she will probably be at the later in this video. So that's all the pictures I got, and I'll highlight, you know, what I'm doing now, what I do with my free time. So I'll see you there. All right, that was it. That was pretty much my life in pictures. Now, you might be wondering, you know, what do you do in your free time nowadays? And here's some of the stuff that I love to do when I'm just chilling. All right, and that's it. That's some of the stuff that I love to do, and that's going to conclude the project. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for me for the rest of my life. So thank you so much. Have a good one.